that our state or our country is not heaven on earth, and one day it will be done away with, and it'll give way to a greater ruler.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about in terms of emotions and, remembering these things. Two things come to mind. Psalm 42:11. The psalmist, and listen to this, the psalmist is talking to himself. And I think this is important. If your emotions are real wild right now, the psalmist says, "Why are you cast down, O my soul? And why are you in turmoil within me? Hope in God, for I shall praise him again in my salvation and my God." And the main thing here, preach to yourself. Like if your friend were to come into you and say, "I'm really upset about this. Oh, I'm struggling. What would you say to them? He'd probably say something like we're saying now, "Hey, God is sovereign. Remember this." You can do that to yourself. So if you are so wound up by the state of your state, the election results, all these things that's fallout from this, preach to yourself. There's a quote. I had to Google it real quick because I didn't come beforehand, but there's a great quote from Martin Lloyd-Jones in his book Spiritual Depression.
Love that book. If you haven't read that book, read that book. Yeah, it's
a great book. And I remember the first time I read this, it's like in the first, 15, 20, 30 pages, like this quote. And I was like, I don't need to read the rest of the book. I did, but this, I was like, wow.
This gold nugget is so big, I can't even carry it out of this book. Right, yeah.
It legitimately felt like that. And it's right at the beginning. But this is what he says. Have you realized that most of your unhappiness in life is due to the fact that you are listening to yourself instead of talking to yourself? Take those thoughts that come to you the moment you wake up in the morning. You've not originated them, but they start talking to you. They bring back the problems of yesterday. Somebody is talking. Yourself is talking to you. Now, this is the man's treatment in Psalm 42, which he references, which I just read, was this. Instead of allowing this self to talk to him, he starts talking to himself. "Why art thou cast down, O my soul?" he asks. His soul had been depressing him, crushing him, so he stands up and says, "Self, listen for a moment. I will speak to you."
Yeah. Man. Love Martin Lloyd-Jones. If I could have ever met Martin Lloyd-Jones, he'd have been like, "Hey, stop being a Baptist." I don't know. Probably. But I've been like, "You know what? Martin, can I call you Martin? I like you anyway." Yeah.